Welcome to Create Momentum for Positive Mindset. Today, my guest is Muzzamil Khan. Muzzamil Khan is a singer and plus a pilot. Muzzamil, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Shadab. Thank you very much for having me on here.
Yeah, I'm really grateful and thankful to you because you were running around from your work. So you came in and you gave the time to create momentum. Much appreciated.
Anytime, Shadab.
So, how is life treating you in Spain?
Oh, it's glorious. I came under the influence that Spain's going to be sunny, like I was told, sunny Spain. But I think when I got here, it was actually quite snowy Spain because there
Yeah.
was so much snow and cold. But I think you get used to the lifestyle. So I've been here for the last 7 months. It's been quite interesting. So enjoying it as much as I can.
Yeah, of course. Plenty of people say because I lived my life in Abu Dhabi, they like the hot weather, but anyhow, people like Spain. So, where you are staying at the moment in Madrid, or are you in a different city?
I'm not too far from Madrid. I'm
Yeah,
about 2 hours from Madrid. So, but it's a beautiful city. It's a city known for its churches and cathedrals. So,
yeah. No worries. So, first of all, if you give your introduction, that I mean, what you do, a little bit about yourself. So, please.
like Shazad said, I'm Muzammil, and I'm 27 years old. Alhamdulillah, I'm a pilot based here in Spain. Trying to do as much as I can for different things in social media. So I have a hobby and a passion in actually singing. So I actually released my debut single, not album, last year. So it's coming to nearly a year for that single. And I like just have a chit chat, have a chat with people on social media, how things go, get to know people. Bubbly character. I like to have a laugh and a joke all the time. So I used to be considered as a class clown with all the friends because I used to be the one that used to be less bothered about things that used to happen. So
Yeah, of course, it's a great way to live your life. When you're happy-go-lucky, because I see a lot of politics happen here and there, but end of the day, what would you take out of it? If you can't make, you see, how I feel, if you can't add a value in a human life, then it's not worth it. Everything gonna remain here. Nothing we're gonna take. Oh, I want to be number one, or I'm not in that game. I just want to be where I want to be. If I can give a one lesson from my side to somebody at this precise moment, if I'm adding a value to your life, or do you think that that one thing is great, then absolutely I do this. I believe in this theory.
it's the
So
same Shadad as Creative Momentum's slogan. Creating
yeah,
positive change and positive mindset. And that's the most important thing that we got to have is understand that how your life will have an impact or a knock-on effect on somebody else who's going to be positive about something. If we can change one person's mindset by making it going from negative to positive, then that's the most influential thing that you could have possibly done on your lifestyle. So that's the most important thing that we got to understand. And you know what? This is why when I came on, I said thank you to you because you have a platform in which you're trying to make a change for the people that do not have that hope. You are becoming that beacon of hope for these people. So thank you, Shazad, for myself and obviously people on social media
yeah,
for such a platform that you're making that change.
no problem. Thank you. Much appreciated from your side as well. So tell me, Muzammil, about your aviation journey. So why did you choose to become a pilot, not something else?
I think aviation was set in from the start in the foundations of my growing up. Having been born on the other side of the world in Hong Kong, we lived fairly close to the airport, in which we used to see the aircraft landing very low. And some of you that know the history of Hong Kong, the airport used to be in the middle of the city. Now, where the airport was, the planes used to have a very low flyovers from the buildings with Hong Kong being the jungle of concrete, the concrete jungle of Asia. We as children we used to look out when we used to hear from the plane every couple of minutes. Like, whoa, it's this aircraft, it's this aircraft, it's this aircraft. And obviously having a lot of family who've got a background in aviation through forces and everything else, I think it played a big impact in me. And obviously having spent a long time in the Air Cadets for 6 years and also the Royal Air Force as a reserve, it built a creative platform for me to always aspire and to do my things that I love to do, which is becoming a pilot. But the journey has never been always easy. So it's been a difficult journey. It's been a quite financial, costly journey, must I say, Shazad. But eventually we managed to get here to where we are.
Yes, it is very costly to become a pilot, and you because you are sacrificing now where you are. You are from West Yorkshire. I mean, from Yorkshire, and from UK to Spain. You have to sacrifice a lot of things because it's. I mean, life when you have to achieve something, and you have to go different places. So, I mean, you have to do it. There's no
Of
ifs and
course.
buts. So because you want to achieve your ambition. So, second thing I want to ask, is it anybody can be pilot or is it do you need certain specific skills to become pilot?
I think it's very important in regards to I can only speak from the European aspect of things in regards to the license that you will be attaining, which is a EASA based in Europe to fly. I think it's the fact that you don't have to be super clever to become a pilot, and you don't have to have a certain expectation, a certain level of understanding, which you have to become a pilot, because there's a lot of um, there's a lot of agendas that people think that no, it has to be this way, it has to be this way. No, it doesn't. In simple matter, when you become a pilot in the UK or anywhere in the world, actually, you have a requirement, an entry requirement, which is an English test, a mathematics test, and a science test, and also general understanding of aviation tests. And if you pass them tests, which 99.9% of people do pass, because it's very basic in order for your communication skills and to understand what's being delivered to you as a subject of aviation or becoming a pilot. After that, it's not easy, because a lot of people say it's easy, because in Europe, you got to do 14 exams, which are part of the ATPL EASA license. Now, they're not very easy, but they're not very difficult. If you put your invested time into it and you invest your study time into it, then it is possible. But the difficult part that comes from that is you've got to complete 14 exams in 6 examination sittings. Now, a lot of people think, no, you get 14 chances to do your examinations and you have 6 resits. No, it doesn't work like that. You have 6 opportunities to complete all 14 exams. That's up to you whether you want to do 14 exams in one, or you want to do 3 exams every sitting and spread that out. There's a lot of myths in regards to how to get into the aviation sector and become a pilot. For example, you have to pass a class 1 medical test. Now, class 1 medical test is basic stuff like your blood, your hemoglobin levels, your vision, your hearing, and all that sort of stuff. Just another thing that I want to clear: you do not need to have a 20/20 vision to become a pilot. I get this question a lot, and a lot of people ask me this question on a daily basis. If you wear glasses, it's absolutely fine. You just need to declare that you wear glasses. The only thing that you cannot have with your vision is you cannot be colorblind. So if you're colorblind, then you cannot become a pilot, unfortunately. But if you're not, then that's absolutely fine. And another stigma that a lot of people also have is, a lot of people ask me actually in regards to the questions, is if you have eczema, can you become a pilot? Now that all depends on the aeronautical medical center that you go to do your class 1 medical. Now, if your eczema is severely bad, then they might refuse you to give you the medical license. But if you do not, then if you fall into the category, that might be fine, because there's different aspects. When you go into a pressurized cabin, the cabin gets pressurized. It may get very dry and humid in that cabin for you not to do it. So there's a few stigmas, but the best thing I would say to you before you join any aviation school to complete your pilot's license, please complete your medical beforehand in the country that you are from, if it's based in Europe. Because once you get your medical is valid for 1 year. The following year, you just need to renew your medical, which is not as complicated as it's initially the first time out. So complete your medical and then go out and do your apply for aviation school. That's another very important advice I'll give, because a lot of people never told me about this when I did my medical. So do your medical, go out there and live your life and enjoy it and study hard. That's what I'm going to say. Study if you want to become a pilot. So you don't need to have major degrees back in you. You don't need Bachelor of Arts or Masters or anything. That's all just a stigma. Go out there. If you complete GCSEs and you want to become a pilot, go and apply for aviation school at the age of 18 and do it. You don't need no other qualification in order to get into aviation school.
Thank you very much, Muzzamil, for this information. Because my brother wanted to become a pilot, but due to financial reason, he couldn't. So he works in an airport as he's working in a customer service in Etihad Airways. So he's working in Dubai.
Fantastic.
So another thing. So how did you see you were working it? You want it as a career. Is it singing is your passion, or is it you are only singing as a part-time basis?
A
or
lot of people ask. A lot of people ask me this is that actually. I
yeah,
used to be, the so-called shower singer.
yeah,
And I used to
yeah,
get that knock on the door every morning. My mom
yeah,
saying to me, "Hey, shut up! What are you doing in the shower singing? You
yeah,
sound horrible," sort of a thing. And then last year, obviously, with the pandemic coming and the lockdown coming, and I had friends in my circle that pushed me and said, "Look, why don't you just go record something and stick it on YouTube? You never know what it might come of it."
yeah.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. A release date and everything was done so quickly. First week of Ramadan, a release date. People supported it a lot. My mother, nobody in my family knew. My mother was sitting in England with me during that time. My father was in Pakistan. I released it. An hour later, my mom said to me, "Well done. I'm happy with you." And that's all that I needed. And I was so happy after that statement that she made that I thought, you know what, if this is something that I do it as a passion, then I'm happy to do it as a passion. I wouldn't consider it as my full-time job, or I wouldn't consider it to be something that I live off. But the comments and the love that's been shown to me in the last year from that, I'm thankful to that for every single person. And I just think for hobby. And Shadad, you've seen me on social media, you've seen me on Instagram.
Yeah,
The clown that I am, 2 in the morning, flipping singing, with my broken voice, trying to wake other people up. And for those of you that don't know, I live in a residency in Spain.
yeah,
So I have other people sharing this. So I get knocked on the door, shut up, it's 2 in the morning, get to bed, what are you doing singing at this time, sort of a thing. So, alhamdulillah, the love has been shown to me. Just to give you an insight, Shazad, in regards to the work and stuff. Before this, I was a charity humanitarian worker. So I worked for many different charities. So it is quite different to come from understanding of a totally different work scale from coming as a humanitarian who's seen the crisis in the world and being in the middle of the crisis from when crisis start to raising the funds and everything and coming to a platform which is totally different of becoming a pilot. It's difficult. It's very difficult to adjust, actually. It's very, very difficult. But you've got to try your hardest and come in that.
So it is a great thing. I tried my best to do it in. I mean, you do it in different medium because where you persuading people to go in for. I mean, to invest in a good cause, as you say,
Yes.
Sadqa Jariya. So I do
Mm.
it in as well. So now I want to ask you a question. This like during this pandemic when it happened, because one thing which I know this pandemic has been overly exaggerated
Mm.
because because there's two things we don't have a control on. One is the government, if they say this is the rule we have to follow. Second thing is whatever the media is saying, the people are not thinking, not doing their research what it is, because coronavirus is exist since 1960. If we go and if you see the last 20 years, you see the stat, there's a lot of diseases has been flying around, but the I mean nothing was closed at that time, but now everything is closed because for us is still okay, we are doing some of us is getting furlough or we have saving. But how would you say it will make more impact the people who don't have nothing? Pakistan, there's a lot of cities, they are, I mean, the poverty is which is common. So how would you would deal if this situation had occurred and you have something in your hand and you want to make something better out of it?
I think for me, I unfortunately I wouldn't be able to be in that position to answer on the question that you've asked. But one thing I would definitely say is the pandemic has not been easy, even for the people that have had jobs, and even for the people that didn't have jobs, and also for the people that have been furloughed. There's a lot of impact that takes place, and that's not just physical or financial that takes place in people's lives when a pandemic or such events occur. Now, you need to understand, we had a pandemic for 1 year. It's come to just over a year that we've been in a lockdown and in and out of a lockdown in regards to the pandemic. Now, if you put the same aspect from a different country, now if you look at Syria, the war in Syria has been going on for over 10 years. When you are put in that situation, every single person will find a mean to do something in regards to that. Now, your question is, how am I supposed to, if I have something, if I'm not wrong, correct me
Yeah,
in
yeah,
regards
yeah,
to your
yeah.
question. If I have
Yeah, let's
something and I need to expand on this, and how would I make a better fortune out of that? One thing I would say is never look down and never look at something from a negative aspect. We've all been through the last year. We will get through the next year as well. And the point is, if you have something within you, use that to bring positive hope. You might only have one loaf of bread,
Yeah.
But if you use that one loaf of bread as a loaf of bread, then you're only going to be able to feed one person. If you slice that loaf of bread up, you may be able to feed two or three people. Now, the aspect is how you make positive impact from a situation that you're being put in. Everybody's situation, everybody's circumstances will be different. One thing I would say is there's people that have struggled. There's people that we no longer have amongst us in our communities, in our families, in our societies. But there's also people that we have in our societies, and there's people that have gone through and pulled through this pandemic in the last year, and they have had positive impacts on a lot of people than anybody else. So look around you and look at the changes that have become positive amongst us, and forget what's happening negative. We should not be worried about what's happening tomorrow whilst we're just working on today. And that's the most important thing.
Of course, we have to do, we have to live for the moment because a lot of the time, I mean, it's common with everybody, what's going to happen, how we're going to live. Because in the beginning, when if you take time to understand something, so you don't know, it's a confusion because I was by myself. So first 2, 3 days, I was so anxious about, I said, what's going to happen to the family and how it's going to be. And it was people are panic buying, everybody's buy. And there was a video viral from, it was from Ukraine. Army was, oh, army is coming down, and so many things. At that time we don't know to understand, but as you said, try to make I can put it in this word: one step at a time. So if you're going toward positivity, so you have to do it by step by step by step by step. Then, like, you're keeping a brick every day. In 365 days, you have a wall.
Yeah,
So that's what we can do. But it's I mean, I like your positivity, but we need more positive people to make the impact on people or on the world. Because of
of
that,
course.
if we don't, if we live in negative situation, it's everything in the mind, so then we can't do the things. So I mean, it's a good point you said that. And apart from your do you have any other hobby? I mean, singing is your hobby. Apart from that, do you have any other hobby?
To be fair, I've started to read a lot. So I read a lot of books in regards to history and impact of the world and how that's changed. Another thing that I love to do is poetry, and I listen to a lot of poems and poetry written by all scholars, not just scholars, but amongst artists and singers in the form of ghazals and qawwalis, and that's had a very very positive impact on me in regards to understand life and what life is actually about. So that's had a good impact on me in the last couple of things. And also I enjoy the usual, the swimming, the hiking. I've had the privilege to climb a lot of mountains in my life, also including a couple from the world's highest peaks as well. So I've been to base camps of, for example, Everest and different places. So that's also been a massive hobby. And of course, like everybody else, I'm a big foodie. I love my food. So
Of course, we love all food. So tell me one thing, that in 2020, what one skill you have learned and you want to make an impact on people or to advise somebody?
I think one thing that definitely brought me closer to a lot of things was appreciation. I appreciated my family, my friends, and people around me a lot more. And because, firsthand, I've seen people lose lives. I've lost friends that grew up with me in school in 2020. I've lost people in my communities, in my streets. I've been to janazas. I've buried people that were close to me, close family members I've lost who were a shining star of the whole generation, of the whole family. So one thing I definitely say that I've appreciated and understood more in a different aspect is definitely family and friends, the people around me, my circle. Guys, tomorrow's not promised. Today is not promised. Make most of what you can do today, whether that's your brothers, that's your sisters, that's your parents, nephews, nieces, children, whoever they are, grandparents. Go see them, go speak to them, pick up the phone, give them a call. Mashallah, I'm sitting in Spain, you're sitting in London. We're having this conversation, we're recording this podcast.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that. Pick up your phone, give them a call, speak to them. The only thing you need to say is, hi, how are you? And that's it. It will change somebody's life aspect of things. And that's the most important thing. Start appreciating people around you.
I try to do that, or best of my ability. So after this, we wrap up. So the last question for me with you, that what drives you happy and what drives you every day and what makes you happy?
Oh, I think the one thing that drives me every day is knowing that I'm going to be on that runway and taking off into the skies 10,000 feet above the air. I think that's the one thing that definitely makes me go crazy. A lot of people say to me, "You're mad, you're crazy." One thing I always say is, um, getting out somewhere and understanding the world, it opens your horizons. And being on top of everything in my locality and looking down and understanding that, you know what, this is my chance. I can make something out of this. I can fly that high. Because my English teacher in school used to say to me, my high school, he said to me, I used to have a very bad habit of sitting next to the window. I used to look out the window all the time, ignore what's been taught at English language and Shakespeare and all this, thy, thus, this what happened. I used to hate it. And he said to me, nobody's ever going to pay you by looking out the window. And when I got to Spain, my school teacher messaged me and he said, I'm proud for you. And I said, do you remember what you said to me? Nobody's going to pay you by looking out the window. Guess what? I'm a pilot now. Somebody pays me by looking out the window. So never lose hope and work hard and always enjoy what you do, what you love doing. And that's what I love doing. And knowing that I'm up there making a difference and bringing that change and connecting one place to another. And that's the most important thing.
Of course, as you have a good voice, before you go, so could you please sing any Akia, which I like the song, or anything, by all means, please.
Shazad Bhai, I would have done okay, but I seriously don't remember it from the top of my head. So apologies
Or
for
any
that.
any other song, no problem. A few
Um,
lines.
I will do you one. I'll actually do you Sajana by Yashad Shahid. It's a very difficult song, so I don't know how the voice is on this microphone, but I apologize in advance. So it goes something like तेरी यादां सहारे मैं जीते लवांगी ए जहर जुदाई दा पीते लवांगी एक गम तू सी देता सो गम आप पाले सबकी तासी अपना तेरे हवाले. I hope that's good enough for you, Shazad, mate. Apologies.
Yeah, thank you very much. Before we go, I would like you to, if you want to pass any message to your social media friends, your family, your friends, I mean, in Yorkshire, anything you want to say to them, by all means, give us a small message, and after this, we'll wrap up.
I had just one thing I'd say is keep your head up, look for the future. The future's bright. The bad days are here, but they'll be gone very soon. The rain never lasts forever. The rainbow always follows it. So be hopeful, be positive. Everybody back in Yorkshire, in Spain, anywhere in the world where you follow me from, you know me from, my parents, mom and dad, thank you for everything you've done. Family's always backed me in a lot of things. So, I'm thankful for the support and thank God and just be appreciative for everything that you have.
No problem, Muzammil. Thank you very much. Much appreciated that you have given me your time. Love,
My pleasure.
respect. So, Khuda Hafiz.